It really has been a fantastic collection of music, and we're so excited to wrap tonight's concert with a showcase of what I call, and in my opinion, arguably one of the most significant and brilliant composers in the American classical music canon, and that is William Grant Still. Born in 1895 in Woodville, Mississippi, William Grant Still would go on to become a prominent figure in the Harlem Renaissance and one of the first black composers to gain widespread recognition in the classical music space. Early in his childhood, Still moved to Arkansas, where his family nurtured a sense of education and creativity, which ultimately led him to music. Still's formal music education was quite diverse. He spent time studying at Wilberforce College, a private, historically black institution in Ohio, and would later go on to work as an arranger in Memphis and New York City under jazz band leader W.C. Handy. He also spent time mastering the art of composition in the Western European tradition under American composer George Whitfield Chadwick and French modernist composer Edgar Varese. Throughout his career, Still drew on a rich tapestry of influences including jazz, blues, and spirituals, weaving them seamlessly into the fabric of his classical compositions. This fusion is perhaps most evident in the work that you're about to hear, his masterful Symphony No. 1, subtitled the Afro-American Symphony. Originally composed in 1930 and later transcribed for band in 1970, Still's Afro-American Symphony stands as a landmark achievement, being the first symphony by a black composer to be performed by a major American orchestra. Furthermore, it has garnered critical acclaim as one of the most authentic expressions of black music within classical forms, as well as the first intentional and serious use of a banjo within symphonic composition. This evening, we've presented you with a diverse palette of wind band repertoire that draws on Latin American culture, alludes to Australian folk music, and the culturally agnostic soundscapes of neo-Baroque and neoclassical composition. The curation of this program speaks to a larger question in the wind band space surrounding the place that cultural expression has, specifically that of ethnic diversity. Still's Afro-American Symphony follows in the footsteps of the great symphonic composers Antonin Dvorak and Amy Beach, foreshadowing the potential greatness of American classical music that lies within its cultural vernacular. Nearly 100 years later, it is recognized that culture and canon can in fact be one and the same. In a 1967 speech for the National Association of Negro Musicians, William Grant Still spoke about his compositional approach, stating, "Once having decided upon which themes to use, I then go on to planning the form of the new composition. My usual practice is to map out a plan which conforms loosely to the established rules of musical form, and then to deviate from it as I see fit. This method serves as a stimulant to invention and inspiration." The prioritization of melody and form in Still's music receives overt expression here in his Afro-American Symphony. This four-movement work makes use of melodic lines that are evocative of two essential types of popular and folk music in black culture, and that is the blues and the spiritual. In the first movement, the principal theme is stated here with a distinct blues characteristic by the trumpet one. Similarly, the second movement features a solemn, spiritual-like melody that serves as the principal theme, and it's stated in the oboe. The cultural expressions continue through the use of forms commonly found in Black music. Underneath the second statement of the principal theme you just heard from the trumpet is a standard 12-bar blues accompaniment, which remains as one of the cornerstone characteristics of blues music as well as early swing jazz music. Finally, still showcases another bedrock musical form in Black vernacular music, which is the call and response. Commonly expressed in Black sacred music and other popular and folk styles, the call and response is exhibited often throughout the symphony. In the third movement, still showcases the timbral variety of the ensemble as such. With this symphony, William Grant Still has created a sound that is at once familiar and innovatively fresh. In its entirety, I hope you enjoy the ASU Wind Ensemble's presentation of William Grant Still's Afro-American Symphony.